I mean, everybody needs a day off every once in a while. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, released in 1986, written by John Hughes, directed by John Hughes. This movie scored 7.8 stars on IMDb and 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Ferris Bueller's Day Off stars Matthew Broderick, Alan Ruck, Mia Sara, Jennifer Grey, Jeffrey Jones, Edie McClurg, Cindy Pickett, Charlie Sheen, Ben Stein, Lyman Ward. Ferris Bueller, a senior in high school, is breaking the fourth wall, talking directly to the audience to let us know that he is playing hooky. Very cleverly playing sick but acting like he still wants to go to school. Convinces his parents to let him stay home, and then once they leave, ropes his friend Cameron, who's conveniently already at home, into joining him on his escapade. Then they pretend to be Ferris's girlfriend, Sloane's father, and get her excused from school as well. Usually, a student staying home from school is not that big of a deal to the administration because they have to deal with so many students. But Edward Rooney, the dean of students, has it out for Ferris. I'm also not really sure what a dean of students does. We didn't have a dean of students at my high school. We did have 3 housemasters and a headmaster. And my housemaster could not remember my name. Does that say more about me or more about how many students we had? Oh, I guess it's like a vice principal type. I digress. Edward Rooney has a gut feeling that Ferris is lying, and with 9 absences on Ferris's track record, he is out to make an example of Ferris. He knows how popular Ferris is in the high school, and he knows that if Ferris gets away with this, other students will follow. He takes it a little bit too far. Rooney's 100% right. Ferris is lying, but Rooney goes about it in the wrong way. He harms a dog in this movie, which is unacceptable behavior. Ferris's sister Jeannie also wants to prove that Ferris is lying because she kind of hates him. Ferris now has to avoid getting caught by his sister, getting caught by Rooney, still has to avoid his parents seeing him or anybody else who knows that he's supposed to be homesick. I read somewhere that John Hughes recorded himself hitting the button on the answering machine for the phone call or the voicemail to come through. Well, first of all, let's backtrack for a second. An answering machine, kind of like voicemail now, the one that's built into your phone, but it was a separate machine that you connected to your phone, and all of your voicemails that came in when you were at home got recorded onto a tiny cassette tape. What I think is funny about this is that John Hughes said he did it because nobody else could get it right. How hard is it to act like you're hitting a button? I feel like this is more telling of John Hughes' directing style. John Hughes has a high bar set for pushing buttons. What did I like about this movie? Edie McClurg. Edie McClurg plays the secretary to Rooney. Every scene she's in is hilarious. Every line she delivers is perfect. This seems like a movie that you need to watch when you're young so that you can appreciate wanting to take a day off and do a bunch of things that you're not allowed to do and break the rules and get away with it. I feel like as I get older, I kind of side more with Rooney. Again, Rooney sucks and he takes things way too far, but he's right. He's just trying to do his job. But no matter how old you are when you watch this movie, Edie McClurg is always funny. She's just
a righteous dude.
What didn't I like about this movie? The timing. Let's try to break this down. Let's say that it's 7 a.m. Ferris pretends to be sick with his parents and his sister walks in the room ready to go to school, which means he should also be ready to go to school. Before his mom and dad leave, his mom says that she will be in the area working locally because she's a realtor. His dad says that he will be home by 6. His dad, obviously, we find out later, works in Chicago, which means that if his dad's workday ended at 5, it's an hour commute to Chicago. So let's keep that in mind. Ferris then takes a shower and starts building his Rube Goldberg snoring machine that's supposed to fake out anybody who tries to open the door to his bedroom. Ferris then goes outside to sunbathe in his bathing suit, drinking iced tea, calls Cameron to convince him to also skip school. Then Ferris hacks into the computer for the school to erase some of his absences. He has changed outfits 4 times. Cameron finally comes to Ferris's house. They call to get Sloane excused from school. Then they have to go back to Cameron's house to get the Ferrari. An entire lesson period has ended at the school, and they are well into a second lesson period when Sloane is excused, which means that at least an hour has gone by, probably closer to an hour and a half. I cannot feasibly say that they collected Sloane from school before 10 a.m. I just can't. Ferris changes outfits again, And they find time to go and change multiple outgoing voicemail messages so that they can fool Rooney into thinking that she is at a funeral. And then they have to go to Chicago. Originally, I had on my timeline that they got to Chicago by 11 a.m. I don't think that's plausible. I think it's closer to 11:30. I live 3 miles from where I work in Boston, and sometimes it can take 30 to 40 minutes to get to where I need to go based on traffic because the rush hour commute is a nightmare. We have to allow for that in this timeline. However, yes, when he is shown driving, the roads seem pretty clear. The first thing they do after dropping off the car is they go to the Sears Tower. Well, it was called the Sears Tower back then. It's called the Willis Tower now. I don't know how long they actually spent here. They don't say, but I can't imagine that they spent less than 15 minutes to get up and down the elevator and look out the window. The next place they go is the Chicago Stock Exchange. If my estimation's correct, and they spent 15 minutes at the Sears Tower and 15 to 20 minutes at the Chicago place, and they walked between or took a cab, I looked at a map. That means that they're having lunch at about noon or noon 30, 12:30. From being seated, ordering, getting your food, eating your food, that's got to be at least another hour. They're not leaving that restaurant until 1:30 or 2 o'clock. From the restaurant, they take a cab to go to Wrigley and watch a baseball game. I would have said they spent an hour at Wrigley, which puts them leaving Wrigley at 3:30 in the afternoon. They head back to the Art Institute in Chicago. How long does it take for you to look at paintings? I would think that they would spend another hour here. Using the parade as a guide, they are sitting in a cab next to Ferris's dad, who is heading back to his office. He's not heading to his car. He's not heading home. This kind of corrects my previous assumptions where he would have only spent 30 minutes at Wrigley Stadium, 30 minutes at the Art Institute, and then gotten stuck in the parade. That puts Ferris leaving the parade at about 4:30. They now have to drive the hour back to the suburbs. That puts them in the suburbs at 5:30, which is too close to 6 o'clock for them to do any of the following. On the way home, they stop at a beach. When they get back home, they go to a hot tub and pool. We don't know who the pool belongs to. We don't know where they are. It doesn't seem to be any of their houses. They then spend time trying to reverse the miles on the Ferrari so that Cameron doesn't get in trouble. It doesn't work. Seemed like a plan to begin with, but they end up destroying the car instead by sending it flying out of a window. Totes fun. It looks like Ferris walks Sloane to her house, and when he is kissing her goodbye, it says 5:55 p.m. on her watch. Bullshit. It cannot be. There's no way it can be 5:55 p.m. with all of the things that they did. Teenagers just aren't this organized. Having said all of this, John Hughes said that he didn't care as much about the events and wanted it to be about the characters. Well, John, I didn't really learn anything about Sloane, and I'm very curious about Cameron's home life because it's unclear whether or not his father is actually abusive or if Cameron's just living in fear of getting in trouble because of his disorders. The other thing that I don't like about this movie is that Ferris is super mean to his friend Cameron. Cameron definitely needs a nudge, but Ferris does everything self-serving. Ferris pushes Cameron to the point where all of the repercussions will fall on Cameron and nothing will touch Ferris, which isn't fair, and he's not taking Cameron's concerns seriously. Cameron calls this out later when he says that Ferris is gonna be fine, nothing's gonna touch Ferris. Cameron doesn't even drive his father's car when they take it out. Ferris always drives it. I get why Jeannie's annoyed with Ferris, because he gets away with everything and he treats his friends like shit. She just doesn't have to be so snotty about it. What didn't I understand about this movie? Why does Jeannie say they call her Shauna? Is there something about the song Shauna that I'm just not getting? Now for the Ferris Bueller's Day Off drinking game. Drink anytime anyone sings.
I recall Central Park in fall.
Drink anytime anyone says save Ferris or save Ferris is shown. Drink anytime Ferris breaks the fourth wall and speaks directly to the audience.
I could be the walrus. I'd still have to bum rides off of people.
That's you. Drink anytime they talk about the Ferrari or anyone gets into the Ferrari.
The 1961 Ferrari.
Drink anytime anyone uses a phone.
What?
Ferris Bueller's online too.
Drink anytime anyone says sick.
This is my 9th sick day this semester.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and the drinking game. If you did, please subscribe to this channel, give us a thumbs up, comment below, and maybe recommend what drinking games you'd like to see in the future. Is that how I end this? What are you doing? The drinking game's over. Why are you still here? Go. Go play the drinking game. Go live your lives.